Good morning everyone and welcome back to our online class of computer application. Children, this is our first chapter. If you remember, this topic we have already covered in class 9. Revision of Java concept. So first, few things about Java. What exactly is Java? Okay, and one more question, children. Many students has a confusion that why we read Java, what is the advantage of Java, what things we can do using Java. So today you'll get the answer of this, all things. Your all questions, your all queries will be clear today. So see clearly. First of all, children, Java is a programming language. Okay, what is programming language? Just try to understand this. Computer, this term means compute plus work. Okay, now computer is a machine which does our work, which follow our instructions. So to make computer to do work, we have to give instruction. Okay, instruction we have to provide to the computer. This instruction we provide in a set of program. Or code. Okay, this set of programs are always written as a programming language. Programming language. And like this, one computer programming language which is very popular, very unique and very interesting, that is Java. So children, what exactly is a Java? Java is a programming language. Okay, with the help of programming language, with the help of Java, we provide instruction. We feed instruction to the computer so that computer performs the work. Okay, to make computer to do the work, to make computer understand our instructions, we have to write the piece of code, and to write the piece of code, we have to follow the grammar, the syntax, the rules. Okay, there are multiple languages. Among that multiple language, one of the unique, interesting and very powerful language of computer is Java, which we are going to learn in this chapter. Now question arises, students, what we can do using Java? Okay, we can create multiple applications. We can create a multiple application using Java. What kind of application Java supports? Java supports two type of application. Standalone applications and internet applet. So what does it mean, students? With the help of Java, with the help of this strongest unique programming language, we can create standalone application. That means the application which will be run on single device. Okay, application which runs on a single device, single gadget. Okay, like application you are running on laptop, computer, mobile phone, we can create using Java. So it's a powerful tool. Okay, another part, not only it supports individual or single standalone application, it also supports internet applets. So what exactly is internet applets? Web applications. Okay, application which runs with the help of internet, which is distributed. So such type of application also we can design with the help of Java. So children, understood what is Java and what we can do using Java? We can create two different type of programs, softwares, applications that may be standalone or internet applets. Clear, children? So now let us move towards the architecture, where the Java exists and how we write the programs, how we compile, how we run the programs. So children, we will be focusing on our Icse curriculum, class 10 curriculums. Okay, so our first chapter name is Revision of Java Concept, which you people have already gone through in class 9. Still the revision concept, so many doubts which I'll be clearing you in this today videos. So see here. So now we'll understand the programming architecture. architecture paradigm or approach. See children, every programming language, they need one platform, one architecture, which provides certain rules and regulations, which provides certain grammar, certain syntax, which the programming language need to follow, need to understand, and the program should be written according to that language only. Such set of rules, such set of procedures are given by either architecture, paradigms, or approach. Children, we have two different types of paradigms, two different types of approaches. Okay, so these two different types we have is point number one, POP, and point number two, we have OOP. Children, POP stand for procedural oriented programming, whereas OOP stand for object oriented programming. Children, we have two different type of approach. One is POP, another is OOP. The difference, before there was POP, procedure oriented programming. The work of procedure oriented programming, it used to focus on the structure of the program, how the program has written. Okay, what are the structures that used to be followed by POP? The example you will get in the POP is C programming. There is a programming language known as C programming which follow POP architecture, procedural oriented programming. Okay, it has an approach which check on the functions. So this one focus on the structure of a program. We can say that is a function or method. So structure of the programs are main concept for this POP language. So gradually this POP has been replaced by OOP, object oriented programming. Here the terms object means the real entity which we can touch. So we can say example of such programming languages are C++, Java, etc. In fact, the modern technique of writing the programming follow OOP concept, object oriented programming concept. So Java is one of that. So this, their main focus will be on data, okay, not on the functions. So object oriented programming focus on the data, that means the real object, the real entity which we can touch, we can see. So that is the main concept for object oriented programming. That's why the name is given as object oriented programming. That means everything, the program totally depends on the object rather than functions. POP functions, OOP data. So this part is very important to remember, children. POP functions, OOP data. POP the olden one, procedural oriented programming, okay, and here OOP we have a latest or the new one, that is object oriented programming, where the programs are treated in the form of real entity, that is object. So did you understand, children, what is architecture, paradigms and approaches? There are two different type of architecture, two different type of paradigm, two different type of approaches which every programming language follow. That depends on this approach. Either the programming language has to follow POP or OOP. Today's the new technology programming language totally depends on OOP, that is object oriented programming. Hope this part makes your doubt clear, children. You understood what are the approaches, what is the difference between POP and OOP. So what we understood is Java follow object oriented programming approach. So children, when we talk about object oriented programming, the two important terms comes, that is class, another object. Without these two terms, the object-oriented programming is incomplete. Okay, the class and object. So children, let us understand what is class and what is object. So let me explain you a few things. Like fruit. Children, have you seen fruit? Is there any object, any things, any physical things available in the market known as fruit? No. If I tell you that bring a fruit for me, what you'll bring? You'll go to the fruit seller, you will tell, give me a fruit. They will ask you, what do you want? Because the real existence fruit is not there. It is simply a virtual name, a group of similar things, a name has been given. Okay, not only fruit, children, we have vegetables, human beings, vehicles, in fact everything. We give a group of similar object one name, one virtual name has been given to that. That virtual name is simply an identifier. It is used to identify the real entity. Okay, so in the same way, class are simply a virtual name. Real existence of class is not there. So what are the real existence? Real existence are, like you can see, you have apple, you can touch, you have mango. Same way we have many. Apple, mango, oranges, grapes, bananas. Okay, these all are the real entity which you can touch. So real entities are known as object. So children, this we call as class. Okay, and this part we call as object. So you'll find one common things between the object. This object, they have different state and characteristic. Have you noticed? The shape, the size, the color, the taste, everything is different. Same way, a single class can have multiple objects and each object will possess a different state and characteristic. This should be a different genus, not the same. Different state and characteristic. Each object will possess a different state and different characteristic. That means their shape, their size, their color. In fact, you can see every, like human being. There are boys, there are girls, so many are there. You'll find they are different. You won't find a same face. Okay, everything same, you won't find. So every object, the real entity which you can touch, the identifiable things, they all are known as object. So what we understood, children? What is fruit? Fruit is a class, a virtual name. What is object? Objects are the real entity. So here we can come and we can say class we can say it is an user defined data type, because the name of the class is given by user. Okay, and for object we can say it is a real entity. Okay, here we can mention it is a virtual name. Virtual name. Okay, and it is a real entity with different state and characteristic. So children, whenever we talk about object-oriented programming, these two things, class and object, they are very important terms. They are interrelated to each other. Without class, objects are incomplete, and without object, class are incomplete. They have certain relationship. That's why we can say objects are created by class. If class is not there, we cannot define object. We cannot create objects. So, in the same way, if object is there but there is no class, class is useless. Object is useless. Both are interrelated to each other. So, object-oriented programming means class and object. Two important terms. You should remember this one. Is this clear, children? Properties of object-oriented programming. Let us see. Properties of object-oriented programming. So what are the different properties of object-oriented programming? Basically, you can say pillars of object-oriented programming. Where the object-oriented programming exists, the pillars, there are 4 pillars of object-oriented programming, without which the approach which OOP gives, that is not at all possible. They makes object-oriented programming a beautiful, powerful and strong platforms. So these properties of object-oriented programming are data abstraction, point number 2, encapsulation, point number 3, inheritance, polymorphisms. So children, we have 4 different types of elementary concept of object-oriented programming, or you can say pillars or properties of object-oriented programming. So let me describe you one by one. Children, have you seen calculator? You have used for addition, subtractions, multiplication and doing different like calculations. But do you know how the calculation performs? Is inside the calculator like math teacher is sitting who is calculating the values and giving you the answer? No. Then how? If you break the calculator, you will find some wires, some plastic, metals, okay, combinations, some chips. So certain different things. You will unable to identify that how. How? The question still arises how. Magic. Big magic. No. Logic is there. What is the logic? We user, we are not a technical savvy persons. When we make any application, we have to think in that point that my application, my software, my device will be used by a person who is non-technical, who don't have any idea. Okay, so how they will use? If the programming concept, if the coding is given to the normal technician, normal people, okay, like those who have not studied Java or any programming language, they will be like, what is this? Their expression will be somewhat like this. What is this? ABCD, 1, 2, 3, 4, comma, full stop, curly bracket. Expression will be like this. That's why the object-oriented programming approach, they made the concept known as data abstractions, hiding the complexity from the user. That means the user who is going to use the application or device, they are non-technical, will assume, and will make a device in such a way so that they will get only the interface, only the outer part, only the buttons. They just need to be educated, not a technical educated. So the concept is clear. Data abstraction is what? Hiding the complexity from the user. The background details are hidden from the users. Only the essential things are displayed. So these features of object-oriented programming is known as data abstraction, or simply you can say abstraction. Abstracting the major important pillar of object-oriented programming concept. So children, the next part we can see is, so I think this one is clear now. Okay, so next topic we'll move, that is encapsulation. Encapsulation, that means combining, grouping, wrapping, joining. So what object-oriented programming does is, it combines the similar code, similar data, similar functions together as a single unit. That's why we're giving the class name now. Apple, mango, orange, everything are combined together. So real entity, the real things in real, the practical world, how we deal with the things, the same concept has been used by object-oriented programming. So encapsulation means wrapping of data, joining of data, combining of data, and the code which operate on that data together as a single unit. Okay, together as a single unit. the combination is there. That's why we use curly bracket like this. We use a curly bracket to combine our things. And this part or this property of object-oriented programming is known as encapsulation. So hope this one is also clear. So children, now inheritance, again similar to the real world. Inheritance, acquiring the properties of one class into another class. Acquiring, mistaking. See, human being also we take like that. We take our father or our grandfather, their properties. No, properties means not like land or house or something like that. Properties means the features. Maybe your face is similar to your father. Maybe your character is similar to your father. If nothing is similar, at least title, the surname you will get from your father. So we are acquiring the properties from our ancestors. Same way, in programming also, if there are multiple classes, they can acquire the properties. Okay, if suppose apple, they need the property of vegetable, they can take, but we cannot. Okay, don't do in the real life. Okay, in the programming section, what we can do is something which is defined in one class, and that same thing you need here in another class. You don't have to redefine that. Instead, what you can do, you can call that, you can use that. This feature is available. Okay, like suppose you need a marker. At your home, your brother has a marker. So what you will do? You will go to shop and purchase a new marker, or you can ask to your brother, brother give me a marker. Which one is suitable or comfortable? Obviously asking. Same thing. Here also, if already the data are defined in one class, instead of redefining, we can call that, we can ask that, we can use that. And this feature of acquiring the properties of one class into another class is known as inheritance. This is also one of the major important properties of object-oriented programming. Okay, children? So hope this one is also clear. So the last one, polymorphisms. Poly means many and morphism means faces. We say in Hindi na, एक ही चेहरा और काम अनेक. That means बगल में what we call बगल में चूड़ी and मुंह में राम. Okay, that means you are something and behaving something. The same concept is used here also in the real world concept, that is polymorphisms. The function name will be one, the class name will be one, but the work will be many. Okay, work will be many. Polymorphism, work many. So in short we can say the ability of a class, to respond multiple messages. So many messages comes, it will accept. So ability of a class to respond multiple messages is known as polymorphism. Okay, polymorphism is एक चेहरा काम अनेक. That means we can have a single class name with multiple words, so many words. Let us take one example. If it say addition, add, what thing is try? Two numbers. But what about if I give 3 numbers, 4 number, 5 number? It will not do. It will do. So name one, work many. Okay, same feature has been used here in programming section also, which is not only basically limited to Java. It is the feature of object-oriented programming. That means every programming language which follow this approach, they have to follow this one. That is must. And Java is one of the languages which is under object-oriented programming approach. So Java follow these 4 different things, and these are the basic pillars of object-oriented programming. So children, hope this polymorphism is also clear. So remember this point is very, very important. It's a pillar. If pillar is not strong, OP will fall down. So you have to remember this part. Clear, children?